I don't think so.
Track with Vika Chakra. Track with Vika Chakra. Okay. Track with Vika Chakra. On the back with the monsters. Track with Vika Chakra. On the back with the monsters.
There's no surviving. Steamroller, steamroller, steamroller.
bragging and bailing. Live by the gun, you know what I'm saying, Ren?
Yeah.
So I guess I'll die by that motherfucker then. So when I die, niggas bury me. Make sure my shit reads easy motherfucking E. And it's a fact, to be exact, my tombstone should read, he put Compton on that map. And that's how a nigga feel when I'm giving up the motherfucking real.
Welcome, guys. Hope everybody can hear me. Welcome to Florida EDM today with Double A
and CJ.
CJ.
Well, Double A and CJ. So, anyhow,
How's
everybody,
everybody doing?
how's it going? Sorry for a little bit of problems today. Had a few little glitches here and there with some of the hardware, but we're up and running, and we're super excited to still have music playing.
Yeah, we're back inside right now, as you can see. Yeah, basically the cord that we got is not the cord that we need.
That we need. So, a shout out to anybody that might be listening that's really good with streaming that. So, here's the issue. We have a smaller studio. We have plenty of room for the green room, the engineering room, and the recording booth, but we do not have enough room for a larger interview room. So, like right now, we're off to the side doing it in the green screen that's just kind of tight. So, we really like doing it outside. So if anyone knows of any good repeater cords that are about 32 feet long, that we can use with webcams that aren't going to cause everything to glitch and do all that stuff, please hit us in the comments or shoot us one of us a message. We'd really like things to work smoothly each week.
Yeah, we'd
so
love to hear from
if anybody
you guys.
has some help, we'd appreciate that from our viewers. So first off today, we'll start with some announcements. As always, Fusion Thursdays, back at it again. I had the luxury of getting to play just this last week.
Yeah.
A lot of
I like
fun.
that.
Went out for birthday bash and that, and had a good time there. So threw down a little bit of half house, future house, and then jumped into that heavy dubstep,
I know
to
how you
finish
love
the
your
night
webs.
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually went super heavy, like not wubs, like mainstream dubstep heavy after, and then in future house. So they really like that, the shufflers and all that. So
Yep.
that was kind of fun. That was my first time out at Fusion, so that was kind of exciting.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I saw the picture though with your name up on the back wall.
yeah,
Looked pretty
yeah,
good.
yeah, it's kind of cool. I
Yeah,
like
I
how
like
they set up.
it.
So and Truck's always good. He's got everything and sounds good. So
Yep.
and then yesterday went out to a birthday party. Alexis' birthday party. We did that.
Man, everybody's got birthdays now.
Yeah.
That's
So anyhow, Fusion 2.0 at the Pegasus Lounge. As always, free entry. Doors open at 10. Drink specials just $1 till midnight. Yeah. $1. $1 till midnight. Those are only on special drinks, but me, I drink those vodka and cranberries, and that's $1.
Yeah.
So Friday, January 17th, Whiskey Disco featuring, I'm gonna say this wrong, Cherry Rain, Detroit, and Sleazy McQueen.
Sleazy McQueen.
I love that, by the way. This is at the Iron Cow in Orlando. Doors open at 10 p.m. Tickets are just $5 for that one. So check that out. Friday again, January 17th. Next up, Saturday, January 18th, Boots and Cats presents Option 4. This is Hot Boy Records at the Hooch and Hive. Doors open at 9 p.m. We've got one of our good buddies, Zach, IN before. He's going to be playing out there as well.
Yep.
He's on that lineup, so everyone make sure you get out there, support that Boots and Cats. They've been doing things just a little over a year now. Kind of bringing in that Dirty Bird vibe of house stuff.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty cool.
That's my jam.
That's your jam.
That's my.
So for that one, tickets starting just $7 for that. Really good deal. I think they're like $10 at the door.
Yeah.
Doors open at 9 o'clock for that one. Check it out. Hooch and Hive's a pretty cool place. It's got kind of a neat bar in there. I was kind of surprised. I looked at it from the outside, but I didn't think it was much.
Yeah.
And it's really got a neat vibe,
Yeah.
so I liked it. So next up, we have Russ Liquid and I'm horrible with these. Confresi? Is that what it is?
Tranquility.
At the Road to Tranquility.
Yeah.
This is at the TK Lounge. Door opens open at 9 p.m. Tickets starting at just $15 for that one.
Yeah, Tranquility.
Sorry for anybody that I do not pronounce their name right. With all the
Sorry.
vowels missing and everything going on with names this day and age, I just can't.
It's
keep
already been a
up.
long day as well.
And it has been a long day.
Yeah.
So, all right, next up. This is also Saturday, January 18th. Steve Aoki at the Ritz.
Now this is gonna be
Packed
packed.
out.
Everybody's going, kick me, bro! Kick me, dude! It's gonna be, that line's gonna go down and around the block
I guarantee it.
to the next county.
I guarantee
Sure,
it.
yeah.
So, doors open at 10 p.m. Tickets just $50 for that one.
Just $50.
Just $50.
But you might get caked.
But you might get caked.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Sunday, January 19th, Cashmere at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Tampa. Doors open at 10 p.m.
Sure.
Tickets just $40 for that one.
That's
And that's all I got for announcements today.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of them today.
No, it's
A few things going on. Monday nights. What's that? Oh, I guess I do. So I have a couple. So next
Fever
up is the one of our friends, Julian Mayrd. He has the
Thank you.
Fever Disco, and that is on Saturday as well. It's the what? What is
Queen
that?
Social Lounge.
At the McQueen Social Lounge.
McQueen Social.
Evidently, I didn't print off both pagers. So, anyhow, that's a great one. I actually have got the chance to talk with him and some of his ideas and what he's got going on. It's a whole dress-up type thing, grab the afro puff, get some bell bottoms and some frilly shirts and jump out there and dance the night away. It's been a lot of fun. So I like what he's got going on, and I hope he keeps that up and put me on the lineup. I want to play disco. So, anyhow, so let's talk about equipment, I guess, and the importance, today.
Yeah,
And our
that's
key important
I think
discussion
it's appropriate to talk about that today.
So here in the studio, we just, as a matter of fact, thanks to Mama, we got some brand new Studio 8s, and I have to say that it is amazing the clarity and the fullness of that sound of the monitors. We just picked up those Crimson Red MA Audio 8s. They're really nice. So now that gives us another set of monitors at the decks. Just kind of makes us a little bit more versatile. But getting all of this equipment, to work together all seamlessly and at the same time is just like trying to get, But what I did, I got it ready for recordings and all that now.
Yep.
So recording
How's that
straight.
going, by the way?
Really
I know
great.
you had somebody come in, I think, the other day. Right?
Yeah, we had one. So we're starting to do that here in the studio and everything. So keep that in mind, viewers. That's all perfect, right, and going. If you're wanting to do like a green screen type video for your EPK, let's say you just don't want to put mixes in there and things like that. You want to get up there and show them what you can do live. We can do several camera angles, things like that. And in order to give you that actual EPK video where you can do that. We also work in association with another media company that can do music videos and such as well. But right here in the studio, we're doing vocal recordings, mix recordings, video recordings and everything. So that's kind of cool. But, like I said, equipment, as far as DJs, there's not a lot to have anymore.
Yeah.
We talked about flash drives and the importance of those. Getting the right flash drives. I have found out that you can use 128 gig now, but it's got some issues. The only thing is you can use 128 gig now, but you've got to get the right one.
Yeah.
It has to be the correct speed or it doesn't work right. Also, when file formatting, it wants to automatically, your computer, because of the large size, go to an NTFS file format.
Yep.
And boom, all of a sudden you throw it in, it's like, it's not reading it. Rekordbox won't read it. So just remember, guys, if you're wanting to put all that, I was talking with Kirk Mosier, as a matter of fact, he said, just make sure you're filing that in a FAT32. They also have a new FAT system. It's like a mid-size.
Yep.
You can't use that. Rekordbox will only read that FAT32. So just make sure you do that, and don't put any of your folders in too big a size.
Yep.
That's what I found out too. That if you
wanna
have
keep
too big of a
everything
folder,
minimal.
it won't. That FAT32 won't allow it to put everything in that folder, and it also booted out.
Yeah, I have one of my flash drives. I accidentally put one of my folders that has a lot of my music onto it, and I wasn't thinking. I remember I went out to go play one somewhere, and I put it in, and it just went boop, it just wigged out.
Right.
Wouldn't load, it's just sitting there load. No, I'll put something else in real quick, and then come to find out that was why, just because of that.
So yeah, like I said, equipment is always, it's as great as it is until it doesn't work.
Yep.
So we're on our game here at the studio, just trying to increase each week, give you guys a little bit better show and things like that. So we appreciate the viewers that are bearing with us on that.
Yep.
And
Thank you very much.
yeah, absolutely. So I really don't have much of a key point discussion today. I guess, I kind of got overwhelmed with everything that was going on today. So let's jump right on into this this interview here with Nocturnal, okay? Yeah. Everyone, enjoy Nocturnal.
Welcome aboard, man.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thanks guys for having me.
Not at all.
Absolutely. So, we have all these questions we kind of ask everybody and so just feel free to, go in as depth as you want and kind of talk about it. We got plenty of time. We'll just kind of, discuss. We want to know the whole purpose of Florida EDM today is so that people can really get to know who Nocturnal and you guys are as people. And that instead of just the ones they meet up on the stage and they might get to shake hands with and stuff like that, we really feel like that we want the producers and DJs here in the area to really get known as people so that when they go out, people really respect who they are and what it's taken to get to that point.
I love that. Yeah, that's how it should be.
Absolutely. So, starting off, and we have one question we didn't tell you. He'll get to that later.
I don't remember getting any questions.
Oh, you didn't get the questions?
You didn't get it? You didn't get the list?
All right. Well, this is going to be great.
Right off the
All right. So, first off, where were you born and raised?
Shreveport, Bossier City, Louisiana area. So
Okay.
Louisiana.
All right.
Yeah.
So, and living there, how did that affect music as a young child? Like,
Well, then music in Louisiana. I mean, obviously, like with New Orleans.
Right.
There's a rich heritage there for like jazz and blues and a bunch of other things. So not so much like influenced by that, but being around it and like Mardi Gras parade, like growing up like every year. So like just hearing bands and like
Right.
going to football games and things like it's kind of typical stuff, but just like
Right.
more so like being around an area that is like specifically focused on like music and has a history of it. So
Okay,
that's been kind
okay.
of a big
it's always had that. So you've always had that influence of music in your life.
and then like hip hop's always been big over there, especially like in South Louisiana. So
Okay.
everything just kind of floats up from there. So like Dustin, my brother, the other half of Nocturnal,
Right.
he was always listening to like the music we weren't allowed to listen to when
Right.
we were little. So obviously that always like just I was a sponge for that. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
for sure. So he had a big influence on me as well, for sure.
So let's talk about that then. Next, as a child, for you yourself, what were some of the major inspirations, I guess, that you got from music that you might have pulled from today and what you produce and play today?
That's a good question. Well, like I mean, starting off like when I was really little, like I grew up in church, so like a lot of that was more like melodic, very, very easygoing, like
Right,
like feel good
sitting
music.
there, sitting
so,
there
like,
for an hour, just like
right.
Yeah.
So like I don't like one time I started playing drums, like just like at the sanctuary was empty or whatever. So I just saw it up there. I was like maybe 5 or 6. I was like I'm
Right.
bored. I want to go see what this is about. So
Right.
I started messing around up there and started getting a few people's attention. So they were like, maybe you have a knack for this. So like drumming is kind of what really just got me into it, and it was just kind of there and presented itself. So anything with like heavy percussion or just like bass driven has like always been like my thing. Like I didn't really like all the like melodic slow stuff.
Right.
It's always
I
super
feel you.
boring.
I
So
feel you.
I try to venture
Totally.
away from that as quick as possible. So
Heard that. Okay, so when you're on the road, and you're out traveling and stuff like that, or you have to go somewhere, we talk about comforts and that. DJs always, they have some of them have extravagant writers and all that kind of stuff.
No.
And so we would talk about what kind of are the comfort foods and things that you like to have, not only foods but other items that you like to have that you take with you when you're out traveling or getting ready to go spend the weekend at a show, at a festival setting, something like Asteria. What are some of those comfort things that just really makes you feel like you're still at home a little bit?
okay, definitely always gotta have the Red Bulls.
The Red
Always
Bulls.
gotta have the Red
You gotta have
Bulls,
that
yeah.
Always
energy.
keep it
I
cranking.
gotta like everybody talks about Bang and all that. Like I'm still looking for a Red Bull sponsorship. So if anybody out there is working for them, just let me know. So
Nice.
But I'm not usually too like typical on like just like I need this or need that. Like I'm a super unorganized person. So like most of my time gets spent on like putting effort into the show itself or like my set. So really just whatever I can find in the setting that I'm in. If I'm on the road, like stopping at
extra.
somewhere that I see that I like enjoy. Like
Right.
I never really get too caught up in what I have at the moment. Just like I get more worried about like planning sets and stuff like that. So
Heard that. Are you more of a big meal, go out and go, brother and you go grab
Yeah,
something before you
for
go,
sure.
get
So,
a
like,
nice meal and stuff like that?
That's why that's why I really don't too focus like on much like on what I have with me because I
Writers
always
and
know
things
like
with
yeah,
you, yeah.
It's like a job, yeah. You go
we're
there,
gonna
you
go
there,
we're gonna
you
go
get
hang
it
out,
done.
have a good time beforehand, get our bellies full, like it's
Right.
always and like when people come with us to support too, that's always a good vibe like beforehand. So I'd much rather just like go and do that and hang out like somewhere where maybe I haven't been before instead of just like being like pent up somewhere.
Yeah,
like,
in a room,
Yeah,
in a green room
right,
somewhere. Exactly.
Exactly.
So let's talk about which came first. We talk about DJing and producing and things like that. Which came first for the two of you, yourself, and that? Which came first, the DJing and actually wanting to go out and play music for people, or did you find yourself behind the computer doing the producing and trying to make those sounds first?
So, I mean, I definitely started with production first. I don't remember how I stumbled across it, but like middle school, everybody started getting their interest with like making rap beats and like trying to figure out like how to do it. And that's when like Zaytoven and a bunch of people like in like Atlanta were popping off. So, which he still is, he's still killing it. But so I found like the demo version of FL, like probably most people did. Can't save your projects. You got to do it all at once. But so I started making rap beats here and there, like nothing special. And then just I think about 2012, 2013, like when that like festival trap wave hit.
Yeah,
just, like, everything started going
that's
crazy.
what it was too.
Whenever I heard like I think I heard Spaceman, the Carnage remix, and then Arlo Grimes remix to Mercy, and it was game over from there. Cause like I said, with like all the influence from rap over the years, like I was like, this is insane.
I definitely like the festival trap style myself. I really enjoy that too. That kind of that crossover between like the dubstep and trap type thing. Right. I really enjoy that myself. And like you said, back 2012, that really started popping up, and it was big. It really was. I mean, a lot of the festivals, it started to get pretty big in that, mainstream.
Right.
So.
I also have a lot of friends that have been DJing for years, like being in Lake City up near Gainesville and stuff. So, the influence was always there to want to learn how to DJ, but I never really I never had like the resources to do so, or like the want to, like, until I like really figured out that like you can do both. Like the best way to put your music out there, coming in this day and age, like where we're at now. Being a producer and then being able to play your own music out, like as a DJ. Like, So, like not everybody wants to do it that way. A lot of people love to produce and send it to other people. They don't necessarily want to be on stage.
Play their own. Yeah. But you want to make your music so you can be out there playing it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not an attention thing, but I mean, it's just like it feels good to be able to. Yeah, for sure. It's very like I have a hard time explaining things, so this is a big step for me just to be here today.
Right. That's
but
great.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Like it's very rewarding too, like not just in the fact that like I did this, like look at me, but like it's when people connect with you on a musical level, it's
absolutely
it's a little bit spiritual.
You get the feels, man. It does give you the feels. That's what I'm saying. Like, when I send out a song, even just to my friends, and I get that feedback, like, well, man, that was kind of cool. I was vibing. It's like,
especially when your expectations are already in a certain spot, like
exactly.
Like somebody else just gives you that boost of confidence, like whether they mean it sometimes or not. You got your friends that think everything is fire.
Yeah.
It's all.
But I have those few good ones. That
exactly.
Like, hey,
those are the ones
like,
you got to keep.
So it's good, but and I love those because then I go back and I work on it. And they're like, yeah, you fixed these, but what about this still? And then you go back and work on it.
Right. It just helps you. It really helps you analyze things from a different perspective. Things you wouldn't think about yourself, and like or like that might not be the case already. So.
Especially mastering tracks.
The
like
customer
me and
is
producing.
always right. The customer is always right.
I work in retail. I hate that phrase.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know the feeling.
So there's one right there. You guys are both DJing, and you're out playing shows, and you're working with some of the different festivals in the area. But like you just said, you're having that day job. How's that really affected you guys and your career in that as DJs with having the full-time jobs and things like that?
It gets pretty rough sometimes. I mean, I know a lot of people right now are doing that same grind. So I'm never gonna like say like my situation is any tougher than anybody else's. But like it's definitely tough. Like it's hard to manage time, and like I already said, I'm not a very organized person, and I get in my head a lot too. So like if I'm not in the right mind, like it'll feel like a chore to me. So like when I sit down that way, I can come up with good ideas, but it's forcing it, and like good things come from that, but not always. It's not the best mindset to be in when you're producing. So I just started being a pharmacy tech about 2 months ago, and that's been like the biggest learning curve I've ever had to deal with in my life for anything. So
how is that? So
it's pretty insane, dude. Like, I've been like no schooling or anything, so everything's on the job. Like, and being in a retail setting, it's rough because you're dealing with people that are just in like
walks of life coming through.
Yeah,
And
so
all
like, I
of
mean,
them got
and
an
it's,
issue.
it's in
Good
their
days,
well, and
bad days.
they're all there to get their medication. So like,
Right.
of course, like they're not in a good state of mind either. So it's a stressful environment, but I do love it. It's been really good. And like at 2 years ago, I told myself I would never do it because I was like scared of the responsibility working in the store. Like if anything happens back there, I don't want to be
Right,
responsible.
right,
But-
right.
So I making excuses for myself. Looking back on it, like that's really what it was. So. I'm proud of myself for doing it, but it's definitely been stressful. And like it's when I get home every day, I'm just like, man, I just wanna relax. Like I don't have the effort or energy to put into making music. So that's how it's been for like the last 2 months right now. So we have like some good ideas going, but it hasn't quite moved as fast as I want it to. But then I have to remind myself like, hey, life happens. Like you got to take care of what you got to take care of first, and like music's always gonna be there. So like people are getting into this whole mindset right now with like all of the branding and social media, which is a legitimate mindset to be in, where you have to be good at everything. But a lot of producers right now are reminding smaller producers like myself, like, hey, don't get caught up in the rat race. Like, these are touring DJs that are going all over the world saying this. Like, I had to remind myself, like, sit back, remember why you got into this. Enjoy the process instead of just trying to rush to the end of it.
Heard.
So work definitely gets in the way, but like. You have to do that, or I wouldn't be able to fund and invest in what we've already gotten to this point. So it's a struggle, but it's worth it.
And saying that, where do you see yourself? What are your goals? Where do you see yourself going, or where are you striving to be
For work,
next?
like
No.
work specifically, or just total
No, music.
music.
Yeah, in the next year or so, where do you say like a short term?
2020. I definitely want to play like Asteria. Last year was my first music festival.
Okay.
And shout out to Mig and the team at Asteria because I really appreciate that. That was a big goal off the list there.
The stage was dope, right?
Dude, oh my
That
god.
was amazing.
It was
That stage
insane,
was dope.
dude. Holy crap, man.
It
And
was.
shout out to the people at Gorilla Sound Production. 'Cause
Absolutely,
they killed all that.
absolutely. Chester and his team are amazing.
It was sick. But so that was my first one, but like I definitely want to like being at the Ritz and stuff more often this year. Like I'm hoping that, maybe I get like
You were there
one of the
last night,
cool-down
right?
spots. Yeah, it was Red Room for Bonnie and Clyde last night actually. So that was a
That's
fun.
great.
Shout out to everybody that came out for that. I appreciate it.
Bonnie and Clyde came out to the house party last night.
Yeah, I heard people talking about it, but man, dude, I had such a long weekend. 12:30
I didn't
came
stay.
around.
I
was
didn't
like, man,
even stay, man.
I'm gone.
I grabbed my gear and went home. But talking about that, so let's talk long term then. In the next 5 years, where would you like to see you guys at in that next 5 year push? Are you looking to be out doing any touring or anything like that? Do you guys see yourself doing that, or do you see yourself more regional?
I mean, at 5 years total, that's pushing about the time I'm going to be 30. So I would love to hopefully be touring by then.
Doing
but,
some touring?
Right, like legitimately, but at the end of the day, like my main goal, no matter what the time frame is, I just want to be putting out music within a decent time frame between
Gotcha.
each track and like not spreading it out too much. Like last year, I think we had like 2 or 3 self-releases. One was an EP with like 4 tracks, and then towards the end of the year, we just put out 2. Like through like legitimately, like we didn't self-release on SoundCloud or anything like that. They're on Spotify and iTunes and all that.
Right.
So like we're trying to get more like on that level. I just want to be
To try to sell
producing
that
more. Yeah.
music as well.
So that way, like, because all the touring and stuff will come with that. So
Right.
I just want to become a better producer.
Get that home
And
base.
and just like get my workflow better because it's like all the work and stuff we just talked about. Like it's taking me out of my workflow so much. So that's kind of just my main goal, no matter what the time frame. I just want to be putting out music that I like and hopefully that everyone else enjoys. But major goal, I would love to do some tours or something like that down the road. But I want to play some more festivals this year. And just kind of continue to build the Nocturnal brand slowly but surely. So
What do you guys have coming up in the next couple months here? What are some of the shows and things that you've got that going on and that coming up?
nothing booked as of right now.
Okay.
So if anybody
Focusing on
wants
shout
to,
out.
if
They
anybody
got
wants
some
us,
open space.
if you like the mix, we can talk.
Right.
But so a lot of stuff lately has been kind of just like not last minute, but very like sudden. Like
Right.
short term. Like, hey, do you want to do this the weekend, or like, do you want to do this like like next weekend.
Right.
Not,
a
not
lot of
too
that's
much,
been
like,
that way. I
right.
mean, I've gotten a lot of them here lately too. It's within a week or 2 weeks.
I would say normally I would say like on average we probably get like a at the most like 5 days, like in advance, like requests. But
Really?
usually it's probably like 3. Yeah. So that's why lately, like I said, I told you earlier, I've been trying to delete like half of my music collection, so I
Right.
it's a little bit more manageable.
So, a
because,
little
like,
bit easier to go through,
dude,
right?
I stress myself out trying to plan these sets for you guys. I'm telling you.
So,
you
you know,
want to be perfect, man. You want everything right.
we kind of actually talked about this some, but the setbacks, you know, that you've had. You talked, you know, work's been a little bit of a setback, mindset, things like that. But how have some of these setbacks helped you guys grow? Like, I remember you 2 years ago, you know what I mean? And I see you guys now and the steps that you've made and the goals that you've already reached just since I first met you guys, you know, and had you playing out on my, you know, plywood stage,
It was
you know
fun.
what I mean?
I don't regret
Underground.
nothing. It was awesome.
And it was
Loved
a lot of fun. The Madfills were a lot of fun. You know, it was great to see guys that, you know, that were, you know, starting off and now have made a lot of growth. You know what I
Right,
mean? We
yeah,
got
right.
actually a couple touring people now that are
Yeah.
out. So
A lot of people that just got put on Forbidden Kingdom.
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Yeah.
We're
So shout
in
out to
our
all
so-
of you guys as well.
absolutely for that one. So you know, what have I guess what are those setbacks? What have they really done for you? Have you seen growth in those, and that because you've had to have those?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I don't remember exactly how long ago now, but I'm sure a lot of people have ran into this issue before. But we had a hard drive like go out on us, and the one that was in one of our laptops,
Okay.
and then also the external as well. So like I was able to save a good bit of stuff, but we pretty much for the most part lost like all of our projects. It was like probably like a year and a half ago. It's been a little bit. Like we've had a lot of time to record and stuff,
Right.
But so like that, like just like always backing up your stuff, like being prepared in case anything happens. Like that's been one thing. It's definitely like I have burned that into the back of my brain.
So
I
you've
will not let
learned to
that
be a
happen
little more
again.
proactive
For sure,
because
for
of
sure.
some things that have happened.
Right. And then like the work schedule thing, you know, me and Dustin have always been on different schedules, so we kind of got into sync for a little bit there, and we were getting it going. Now we're kind of back on different a little bit here and there, so that's kind of forced me to kind of get back in the studio because Dustin has been putting in so much work. So proud of that guy. He had some of the craziest, weirdest, like non-musical sounding projects I've ever heard in my life. Like 2 years ago, man, just ideas, just messing around with FL
Right.
Studio, just learning. And now he's putting like whole tracks together by himself. I'm barely even touching them. I'm sorry.
That's all right. No worries.
But,
Busy man.
yeah, right. You think
Maybe
so?
that's somebody calling for a gig now.
He's like,
But,
I saw you on.
So like with work being like more of a priority for him, you know,
Mhm.
that's kind of put me in a position where I kind of have to get back in there and like really self-reflect and be like, you know, if I really want this to happen, like he's always been supportive of me, but it's never been his thing. So I welcomed him in with open arms. Obviously, I love that guy.
Right,
So
right.
I love the support and I appreciate it. And like he didn't have to do any of that. So the fact that he's invested so much and like became a part of Nocturnal as well, like that's been a big help for me because like anybody that says they can do it on their own is probably lying. I'm sure there might be one person on this earth that is,
100% true.
but
100%
yeah, so
true.
that just kind of like forcing me to get back in there and like you know like put the blinders on to a lot of stuff
Right.
outside of like you know just like music and work, you know, just like regular life stuff. So like that's where this next you know year is gonna be is me kind of getting back in there and like
Really
taking
pushing that
over,
grind.
pushing the reins. Yes, sir. So that's been
Good.
kind of not a positive yet because it hasn't actively happened, but that's the plan moving forward. So like that's gonna be growth throughout the year
Nice.
for sure.
Face, you want to bring out your banger question?
What's the craziest thing?
We have fun with this.
What's the craziest thing that you've seen while you're out spinning somewhere? You know, or preferably when you're up on stage and you just saw you looked up and you're just like, holy crap! You know, I can't believe that just happened. Or something that
They had a dance battle last night at the Bonnie and Clyde show in the Red Room. This dude hit like some crazy 360 like backflip in the middle of the.
do some breakdancing.
Yeah,
Really?
So I mean, it's not the craziest, but that's like the most recent.
Something that sticks out in your mind.
Man,
Or
I think
or
I need to pay
in a
attention to the
venue
crowd more when I DJ.
Just some wild
I need to look
experience,
up.
like, you know, like...
So we'll take it down to the next one.
He says, I need to
So-
look up. You're like,
Alright,
hey.
so we'll take it down to the next one. What's the craziest thing that you've seen
Being
at a party
out.
that you were going to play at?
Okay,
Like, you know,
alright,
you were
so-
about to play, or you played, and afterwards you just saw something, you were
Right.
just like
Okay,
totally
all
mind
right.
blown.
I think after, I don't know if I can, I mean, it's already happened, can't do nothing about it now. One of the shows at the Ritz, I played Red Room, and then we were hanging out in the main room.
Yeah.
You know, two people that were probably a little bit too intoxicated.
Yeah.
A couple, this girl was being taken care of by her man, and then like I look over, and then I feel something, like I thought they spilled a drink, and I look over, and she's bent down on the floor, and I'm pretty sure she
was straight up
taking,
peeing?
yeah.
Was
so-
she just peeing on
Yeah.
the
Oh,
Yeah.
man. That's
So-
not
That's-
I mean, I know it gets packed in there
Yeah,
sometimes.
that's about
I mean,
like
if you
the-
gotta go, like...
the most embarrassing kind of
That's
thing.
like the craziest thing I've seen.
Yeah,
Because I mean,
yeah.
like I see wild stuff going out, but that's like the craziest. Like,
And you're just standing there like...
yeah, yeah. It's
Be
like,
on
oh, it's
me.
okay. You spilled your. Never mind. Like, no, that's not okay. I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that. But you know, yeah.
So, in today's mix, what do you got for us? Explain a little bit about the vibe that you're trying to bring for us today.
Depending on like if I get told, you know, like to fit a certain type of vibe for a night, like I do try and fit them myself, like for what I would want to play.
Mhm.
But for the most part, any mix that I bring, I want to bring a lot of variety,
Mhm.
but still like speak, you know, with what
Right.
I'm trying to say. So
Right.
there'll be some house, you know, different subgenres. I got some future house, like bass house.
Yeah.
Maybe a little progressive.
Okay.
By the way,
Yeah, and then I just usually I either go one of two ways. I start like 75, 150 and work my way down to house, or I start at house and work my way up. So
Right.
I'll probably work my way up and
how
we'll
do
go
you
harder
prefer,
at
do
the
you
end.
like, do you preferably like play slow and then ramp it up from there? Or do you
It just depends, like,
generally kinda just...
Definitely like depending on, because like obviously I haven't headlined a set yet, so
No.
I haven't fully just like gone in preparing for like everybody to like come see me play and like hear
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do. So
Make
like
it more
I'm
about
always
you.
preparing for like what other
What if,
people might
yeah,
play, or
yeah.
like what the headliner is gonna play. So just depends. Like for Yuki a few years ago, I started out like really fast, like 85 BPM, and like worked my way down, and then went back up again. So like I have a different plan for everything. I never have like a
That's
template.
sick.
Like to be a little live.
yeah, for sure.
Nothing
sure.
wrong with that.
Sometimes I accidentally do that to myself, and I just have to go on the fly. And I'm like, get back to my roots, though. That's where it all comes
It
from.
does,
Right?
it
Yeah,
does.
like,
That's the
I
one
hate,
thing, though,
hate that I
like-
think like that sometimes now. Because like, dude, I used to my little tractor too.
Yeah.
You know, my laptop. Like I used to go in with that thing, man.
Yeah.
Just like practice and mix with 4 channels and stuff, and like everything slowly started converting to everybody needs to learn how to use Pioneer, and I was like, okay, well everything has to be super technical and like. Like sometimes it's not as much fun because you're putting so much
It is.
pressure into
You're right.
being so
Like
technical,
especially
so.
building sets and
Right,
curating sets.
Right.
Like
It's a challenge, dude. I don't think people realize
People,
people
yeah.
you're not always just picking music out of your collection that you
Right.
think might like fit together. Like and I think a lot of people should go back to doing that more often. I think that's going to be another goal of mine this year is kind of just get back into like preparing folders and not so much just like
that's
playlists.
that's
Like,
what I
yeah.
do. So
Yeah.
if I'm going to a bigger show like where I'm playing a headlining show somewhere, not me headlining, but playing for a headliner,
yeah, absolutely.
I'll definitely curate. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. But as a matter of fact, I was playing one of the side stages at Wonderland, the Wonderland Festival, and I wasn't playing the main stage. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go live, and I've been doing that a lot more often at some of the ones like my buddies like. We did Bass by the Bay just a couple weeks
Oh,
ago.
yeah. How was
And I
that?
did that. It was a lot of fun. And we were down at was actually Bass by the Bends, so we were at the Bends,
Oh,
and
okay,
so
depends, all right.
we did an ugly sweater party or whatever, and I played funk, and I did funk and soul all the way through, and they ate it up, and it was just all live on the fly. Half the songs I didn't even know. I just put them in a folder, and for me, it's the most fun,
Absolutely.
and I learn the most when I'm out in front of people, and it's like,
Yep.
I can't screw up.
Right. Absolutely.
I'm not going to train wreck, no matter how bad. I'm going to fix this. It's going to work.
Right.
Instead of
forcing
in
yourself
the studio,
to practice like in a performance setting.
just shut it off and start over again. And now you can't do that when you're out live.
Forcing yourself to practice in a performance setting.
Exactly, exactly. And that's really what it is. And I've noticed a lot of the guys that we have on here, and that they talk about that as well too. That's where they feel like they get their most actual learning practice is in that performance setting, where you're somewhere where you've got it.
It's just like training for combat. You can train.
Yeah, but
you get into real combat, you know what I mean?
But you got bullets flying at you.
There's anybody a vet? Because that might be a rough comparison for some
people. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about that.
We're not saying DJing is like war.
Yeah,
no, it's not.
But it
not at all. Not at all. No.
Going in the trenches.
So, without further ado, then we're gonna let you jump up. Go ahead and get things ready for you.
Thank you guys so much for talking to me. I
Absolutely. Appreciate you having you come out, and we'll be looking at having you come out again with us. So let's get ready for this mix. Chase, I'm gonna jump over with him.
I just smashed my head off the damn laser light over here. That laser light hit me hard.
Oh, I love these 280s, man. That's what I have in my bag.
Yeah, I like it too a lot. So, guys, we really had a great time with him. Everyone, just real quick before he gets started here, if you're interested, if you're a Florida local producer, especially those ladies in that, we're looking for you as well. Next week, we have out Tortilla Jones. He was supposed to be with us a little while back, and I had Wonderland and could not make it back for his audition. So we'll have him.
You got sick on that one.
And I got the whoop flu as well. So we'll have him back next week, and then we have Rita Valente, I believe, is with us the week after that. And we are looking to fill up a few of our dates in March and February.
I think we might be spreading some things out just so we can get more equipment in and make sure that we get everything right for you guys.
So any changes that we have, if we do happen to skip a week or something like that in order to get some things taken care of, our schedules are very busy as well here. Chase is out working hard, and I'm here at home. So anyhow, we appreciate it, and let's get that mix.
Check it out.
This thing is going nuts.
Run. Run.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time now. About that time. Turn this thing on now. Now let me see everybody do this. Hey, snap your fingers. Do your step. You can do it all by yourself. Let me see you do it. Hey, let me see you do it. Hey, hey, snap your fingers. Do your step. You can do it all by yourself. Let me see you do it. Hey, let me see you do it. Hey, yo, bitch, let's party up.
We will bobble for the hell of it, definite grabber. Bobble for the hell of it, we will bobble for the hell of it. Bobble for the hell of it.
Spice girl in the cool truck.
Such a fucking hoe, I love it. You're 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 such a fucking.
I dare you to move and shout. I dare you to lose your mind. I dare you to move and shout. I dare you to lose your mind. I dare you to move and shout. I dare you to lose your mind. I dare you to move and shout. I dare you to move and shout. I dare you to lose your mind. I dare you to move and shout. I dare you to lose your mind. I dare you to move and shout. I dare you to lose your mind. I dare you to move and shout. I dare you to, I dare you to, I dare you to move inside. I dare you to, I dare you to, I dare you to lose your mind, 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 lose your mind. I dare you to lose your mind.
I fell down to earth from 100 miles away, and somehow I still make it work. But it's overrated and somehow played out. 3 doors down so you can't ignore it. I'll hunt you down like a Tyrannosaurus. My teeth are sharp like a great white shark. Let me taste that flesh, is my favorite part. Got an eagle beak with the ostrich feet. 7 spider eyes for every day of the week. Means I'm still at work and while your bitch ass sleeps. I'm an alien among the human beings. I fell, I fell, I fell, I fell, I fell, I fell, I fell. I'm an alien among the human beings. I fell down to earth. I fell down. I'm an alien among the human beings. I fell down to earth. I fell down.
I did my best, wasn't good for you. I was the best for both of you. Family and friends, they are close to you. Damn, it's so hard to get over you. Late in the midnight hour, made the worst decisions. I was always there to listen, but this time, late in the midnight hour, you made the worst decisions. I was always there to listen.
I bet your little sister wanna look like me. I bet your little brother wanna fuck on me. Hood bitch, good. I bet your little sister wanna look like me. I bet your little brother wanna fuck on me. Hood bitch, good.
Time to talk.
Work.
Time to talk.
I bet your little sister wanna look like me. I bet your little brother wanna fuck on me. Hood bitch, good.
Time to talk.
I bet your little sister wanna look like me. I bet your little brother wanna fuck on me. Hood bitch, good.
Time to talk.
She cut too deep, now she left me scarred. There's so many thoughts going through my brain, and now I'm taking these shots like it's moving. Hey, yeah. Time to
plug to my brother in the trap, still rolling. Let's go. All my whole free, yeah, she ride deep. Yeah, like goddamn phone man. Steady running to the money, don't stop green like yeah, the nigga keep goddamn going. And you already goddamn know it. I ain't had to make a plan so long, I don't even got still. I forgot how much bound. Brand new car, 2019, had 57 miles, had to put it on the highway. Bad bitch with a 70 degree, but she still selling pussy, man. I wonder what her mom said. Wonder what the dad said. I don't do this little shit, I like the password. High school, so raising to my classmates. I'm the one that thought your little brother with a bad boy. We was taking niggas shit, no nah. We went nine from you, had to get us on a bad day. Hit a nigga, make a bad day, a good day. He don't even pop it over, he a good play. We moved up, let me check if we busy. Like how we dress, we get cheap. I don't do this little shit, I like the fast way.
Don't you be a meanie. Thought you wanted me to go. Why you tryna keep me teeny? It's a dreamy. Wished it on a genie. I got fans finally. And you wanting them to see me. Say to me what you want from me. upper hand. I need a big bitch, not another fan. But I still want you as a fan. I'ma need a sit down, don't mean to make demands, but I need you to say to me what you want from me.
Blah, blah, blah. So, where did y'all go? When I was shit broke, couldn't even buy smokes. Now your mama needs tickets to my stadium show. She love it when she hear me on the radio. Oh, I know it's hard to swallow your pride. Sorry that you can't get over me. Now you're out my life, I'm so relieved. I used to have friends, now I got enemies. Used to keep them close, now they dead to me. Money tend to show all the tendencies. Enemies, yeah, so sad. Sometimes, every time they let me down. Sometimes, every time they let me down. Used to have friends, now I got enemies. Enemies, yeah, so sad. So sad, 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 so sad,
every time the beat drop. Every time the beat drop.
How could you wish you never played me? Had no time for that, damn. Claim me, you my lady, got no time for that. How could you moving like you crazy? I ain't call you back down. Leave me alone. Drunk as fuck, get you dumb as fuck. Run it out the box down. Leave me alone. Drunk as fuck, get you dumb as fuck. Get you done as what? Leave me alone. Drunk as fuck, get you dumb as fuck. Run it out the box down. Leave me alone.
She give me what I wanna. Ball so hard, need a warm up. I back that at the Walmart. Yeah. Big time a stunner. I'm out here on the come up. I beat the pussy drummer. I roll up, no more drama. Yeah. She give me what I wanna. Ball so hard, need a warm up. I back that at the Walmart. Yeah. Big time a stunner. I'm out here on the come up. I beat the pussy drummer. I roll up, no more drama. Yeah. She give me what I wanna. Ball so hard, need a warm up. I back that at the Walmart.
Girl, I got your back. Where you at? Girl, I got your back. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at?
exciting. So, man, thank you very much.
Ringing right
Yeah,
now.
I was gonna say,
It's
dude,
like,
after last night, I think I had the booth monitors turned up way too loud. So like,
Yeah, you could turn those down, I guess.
Once I get into it, I can't help it, man.
But man, so exciting guys. Had a great time. Thank you very much for coming out and joining us. And man, dude, what'd you think?
I thought it was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, you went all over, man. You were all like covering all the bases.
You'll know what to expect, but you'll never know what to expect. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. All right, guys. Florida EDM today with Double A and CJ. Remember, next week we've got Tortilla coming back with us, and then Rita the next week after that.
Yep.
If you have any ideas on how to help us with our USB extension, please let us know. Otherwise, if you're interested in being on the show and you're a Florida producer and DJ, get a hold of us.
Send them on in.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll catch y'all later.
See you guys later.